Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the session entitled Accelerating Net Zero Transition Through Innovative Partnerships, SDG-driven Business Solutions Across Sectors to Combat Ocean Plastics. This session is organized by the UN Global Compact Liaison Office in China, in partnership with International Bamboo and Rattan Organization and Yicai Media Group. In the next 1.5 hours, you will hear perspectives from leaders of international organizations, industrial business associations, and business leaders on their efforts, individually or collectively, to address ocean plastics crisis in order to please welcome.
Great pleasure. That adds up to billions of tons of accumulated plastic waste worldwide that governments and the private sector have truly struggled to deal with. Pollution from plastic waste causes environmental disruption at every level. It contaminates soil and groundwater and has devastating impacts on forest and marine systems, workers, and vulnerable communities. The unregulated burning of plastic emits a toxic cocktail of greenhouse gases, thinning the ozone layer and accelerating climate change. And when plastics are dumped on land or at sea, they also emit greenhouse gases as they are slowly broken down by sunlight and heat. The UN Environment Programme projects that greenhouse gas emissions from the plastic life cycle are only increasing and could account for more than 15% of global carbon emissions by the year 2050. And to make matters worse, plastic pollution threatens the ability of forests and oceans to serve as carbon sinks for our warming planet. Plastic waste also threatens many of the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly through ocean pollution. Healthy oceans truly have the potential to advance sustainable development, meeting increasing demand for more sustainable food, energy, minerals, and transport. But plastic pollution, along with overfishing and acidification, have put the world's oceans in a fragile state. At least 14 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and plastic makes up 80% of all marine debris. Our oceans are not infinite resources. The vital ecosystems beneath the surface cannot sustain our plastic waste. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that the world must address plastic pollution if we are to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and avert the worst impacts of climate change. Last year, the UN Environment Assembly passed a resolution to end plastic pollution and forge an internationally legally binding agreement by the year 2024. The historic nature of this resolution reflects a growing global commitment to address the plastic waste crisis. For more than 2 decades, the UN Global Compact has built bridges between the business community, the UN, and the public sector. And these types of partnerships will be key in addressing the growing problem of plastic pollution. Towards this goal, the UN Global Compact China Liaison Office launched the Combat Ocean Plastic Crisis Accelerate Net Zero Transition pilot project. 14 global companies and institutions have already joined as founding participants. Based on the circular economy and rooted in the UN Global Compact's Sustainable Ocean Principles, the project provides a platform for multi-stakeholder partnerships. It encourages innovation to scale SDG-driven, market-accepted business solutions. Dear friends, while we're making progress in connecting the dots between business, plastic pollution, and the climate crisis, there's still so much more work to be done. The fact remains that plastic is one of the most persistent pollutants on Earth and a growing contributor to global warming. By polluting our oceans, we threaten our potential to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. There is no time to waste. The business community must take responsibility for plastic waste management, commit to developing circular economies and protecting the world's oceans. Now more than ever before, we must all join forces to stem the rising tide of plastic pollution. Thank you.
Thanks, the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations, Ms. Ojambo, to share from the UN's perspective. Now, let's welcome the co-organizer of this session, Professor Lu Wenming, Deputy Director General of the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization, to welcome all of you and share with us their experiences towards the same goal.
Her Excellency Mrs. Sanda Ojambo, Assistant Secretary General and the CEO of UN Global Compact, distinguished speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to this side event entitled Bamboo, a Substitute for Plastic Initiative, co-hosted by the UN Global Compact, International Bamboo and Rattan Organization, and China Business Network. First, let me extend our sincere greetings to the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, where INBAR has participated for more than 2 decades. INBAR is an intergovernmental development organization that promotes environmentally sustainable development using bamboo and rattan. It is currently made up of 49 member states. In addition to its secretariat headquarters in China, INBAR has 5 regional offices in Cameroon, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Ghana, and India. Over the past 50 years, plastic use has increased rapidly, resulting in widespread plastic pollution and worsening the effect of the climate change. It is because most plastics are sourced from fossil fuels. Since 1950, over 9 billion tons of plastics have been produced, but only 10% of it is recycled, where the rest ends up in landfills, soils, and oceans. Plastic can make hundreds or even thousands of years to degrade, negatively impacting the well-being of people and planet. To mitigate these impacts, over 100 countries have taken actions to limit, restrict, and ban plastics. Realistically, we cannot eliminate plastics altogether. However, we can strategically substitute plastic use with more sustainable alternative materials. Bamboo is one of these alternative materials. Recent technical innovations have led to the creation of a number of alternative bamboo products, including tableware, single-use items, daily use products, and packaging materials with applications in cooling towers, bamboo weaving pipes, and alternative to PVC. China and INBAR jointly launched the Bamboo as a Substitute for Plastic initiative in November 2022 during the 2nd Global Bamboo and Rattan Congress. This initiative is one of the 32 deliverables proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping during the 14th BRICS high-level dialogue on global development. The initiative will strengthen the use of bamboo as a sustainable and green alternative to plastics, addressing plastic pollution and climate change with contributing to the global development initiative. With this mandate, INBAR is partnering with the United Nations Global Compact on a pilot project to accelerate the net zero transition by providing a platform for partnerships and innovation to scale up SDG-driven and market-accepted solutions for businesses. This project will be instrumental for supporting the implementation of the initiative across the private sector. In the coming years, INBAR will work with stakeholders in the INBAR member states, including the United Nations Global Compact, to implement an action plan to achieve the goals set under the bamboo as a substitute for plastic initiative. These goals, including the formulation of favorable policies and strategies, support technology transfer and capacity building, promote research and technological innovations, and undertake global advocacy to mainstream bamboo as a sustainable material. We hope the panel discussion today will discuss and propose innovative ideas for integrating bamboo as a nature-based solutions for replacing plastic with private sector business plans and corporate social responsibility strategies. Let's come together to promote bamboo as a sustainable green alternative to plastics. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Professor Lu, for sharing INBAR's experiences and practice. We also feel very honored that your organization has joined the UN Global Compact's pilot project on Global Development Initiative for the SDGs, focusing on combating ocean plastic crisis to accelerate net zero transition during the project launch, not long ago during the China Import Expo last November. So why this pilot project is important for private sector in particular, and what's this pilot about? The next video will help us to answer this question.
kotor, sungai pasti mampet. Ayah nyari dari pagi sampai sore. Aku pengen membantu ayah, tapi ayah nggak ngebolehin. Aku suruh belajar sama ayah biar jadi orang hebat.
Pemulung merupakan pahlawan terlupakan, namun jasanya sangat besar untuk bumi pertiwi. Kehidupan dan kebersihan lingkungan kita sangat tergantung dengan aktivitas pemulung yang tersebar di seluruh area. Namun, sejak pandemi masuk ke Indonesia, ada sekitar 5 juta pemulung yang terkena dampaknya.
Ya, lumayan besar pendapatan sejak pandemi berkurang hingga 50%. Akhirnya hidup kami semakin susah, akhirnya anak saya tidak bisa sekolah. Ya, kita pergi pagi-pagi sekali, belum tentu pulang bawa rezeki. Pemasukan itu cuma cukup buat makan aja, tapi itu tidak selalu ada. Harapannya keadaan kembali normal, supaya saya bisa bekerja seperti biasanya. Tujuannya supaya anak saya bisa sekolah dan memiliki masa depan yang lebih baik daripada saya.
Indonesia merupakan salah satu negara penyumbang sampah plastik terbesar di dunia. Hal ini juga bertambah parah setiap tahunnya, dikarenakan kurangnya kesadaran masyarakat Indonesia terhadap permasalahan sampah, sehingga terjadinya penumpukan sampah secara masif. Kolaborasi untuk menyelesaikan masalah ini sangat dibutuhkan dari semua pihak, termasuk masyarakat dari semua kalangan dan usia, pemerintah, dan juga perusahaan swasta. Mahija hadir sebagai program untuk membantu para pemulung dan keluarganya untuk mewujudkan taraf hidup yang lebih baik dari segi kesehatan, edukasi, dan sosial. Mahija Parahita Nusantara mengajak Anda untuk membantu para pahlawan lingkungan dengan berpartisipasi dalam program kami untuk meningkatkan kesejahteraan hidup mereka.
Kami sangat berterima kasih kepada Yayasan Mahija karena telah membantu kami dan bantuan itu sangat bermanfaat bagi kami. Kami berharap agar kegiatan seperti ini selalu ada di wilayah kami dan bermanfaat bagi kami.
Mahija Parahita Nusantara.
1999年，联合国一项划时代的举措由时任秘书长科菲安南开启。
We, the United Nations, initiate a global compact of shared values and principles which will give a human face to the global market.
2000年，联合国全球契约组织在联合国总部正式成立，实行企业会员制，是联合国和各国企业间交流与合作的桥梁。历任联合国秘书长均亲自担任全球契约组织理事会主席。2004年，作为唯一专注推动商业向善的联合国机构，联合国全球契约组织率先提出了 ESG， 即环境、社会和治理理念，得到各国投资者和企业广泛关注。2021年9月，中国国家主席习近平在第76届联合国大会上提出全球发展倡议 GDI。
In this common pursuit, the UN Secretary General applauds Chinese President Xi Jinping's announcement of the Global Development Initiative, which is deeply aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. At the UN Global Compact, we stand ready to collaborate and support.
2022年，联合国全球契约组织发动各国企业响应全球发展倡议，发起 GDI for SDG 试点项目，聚焦缓解海洋塑料污染，助力低碳经济转型。联合国全球契约组织将以 GDI for SDG 试点项目为起点，倡导通过跨行业伙伴关系，激发企业创新与务实行动，为减少海洋污染、推进海洋生态环境保护、构建海洋生命共同体作出积极贡献。
How can we transform the commitment into concrete actions to unlock the greatest potential of circular economy? Let's hear the commitment and actions from different leaders representing each key stakeholder groups. Let's first welcome an e-commerce leader, Mr. Chris Dong, Chief Marketing Officer of the Alibaba Group.
Thank you, Liu Meng, for the introduction and sharing. Hi, everyone. This is Chris Dong, Chief Marketing Officer of Alibaba Group. It's my honor to join this event, and I'd like to talk about how Alibaba achieves decarbonization goals as a platform company together with our partners and leading brands. The global pandemic has reshaped our life over the past few years. More people are paying attention to the well-being of the planet we live on. Since the founding of Alibaba Group, we have strived to be a company that has a positive and meaningful impact on the world. For Alibaba, we believe ESG is vital for creating value beyond commercial outcomes. In 2022, we put forward our comprehensive ESG strategy and goals. This provides an action framework for solving various global challenges and is an important cornerstone for Alibaba to be a good company that will last for 102 years. Climate change lies at the heart of the current environmental crisis. Our most pressing priority is to reduce our carbon emissions. This is central to one of our 7 action priorities, restoring our green planet. We have come up with Alibaba's carbon reduction strategy and phased goals. In addition to addressing Scope 1 and 2 emissions in our own operations and Scope 3 emissions in our value chain, we also introduced a brand new dimension named Scope 3+. We are committed to reducing these emissions generated across our platform, but outside of our own operations and direct value chains. For Scope 3+, we hope to work with our ecosystem partners and mobilize the power of our more than 1.3 billion consumers to drive a cumulative reduction of 1.5 gigatons of carbon emissions by 2035. We are working with our ecosystem partners to promote decarbonization across the consumer sector. There is an urgent need to reduce the carbon emissions of this sector. In July 2022, Alibaba joined forces with 19 other leading companies to launch the Decarbonization Friendly Actions Program to build and improve corporate carbon reduction capabilities and to instill and promote consumer awareness of decarbonization. By leveraging the efforts and resources of the wider community, we have been able to address the consumer sector's carbon footprint more effectively and innovatively. When it comes to products, we put much effort into incubating and developing low-carbon goods, as well as in standards creation, platform disclosure, and other areas. For example, Alibaba, Unilever, and the China National Institute of Standardization jointly established product evaluation standards for low-carbon liquid detergents, providing industry guidelines that encompass green packaging materials, energy-saving production, low foaming and water-saving formulas, and other measures that help reduce waste and pollution. Meanwhile, we need an integrated low-carbon logistics strategy to achieve efficient and effective operations. As such, we created a one-stop smart logistics solution to manage carbon emissions across the entire logistics chain, including warehousing, packaging, and delivery. In 2022, Alibaba's logistics arm, Cainiao, provided a series of eco-friendly supply chain management measures to Yili Group, one of China's largest dairy companies, to reduce the carbon footprint of its logistics operations. Finally, in terms of marketing, the key is to promote low-carbon consumption awareness and habits. We have rolled out our Carbon 88 Ledger platform for consumers across our ecosystem to reduce their carbon footprint through everyday actions. We have also worked with brand partners to introduce the 88 Decarbonization Day campaign. This campaign leverages the influence of our own platform and that of our brand partners to deliver an accessible carbon reduction proposition, creating new shopping scenarios that provide convenient low-carbon options to consumers. So far, we have worked with Shiseido on an 88 Decarbonization Day campaign to promote refillable and reusable packaging for beauty products. We have also partnered with Yili on a campaign to highlight low-carbon products and milk carton recycling. In our journey toward carbon neutrality, we've been proud to have Mastercard as a longtime partner. We've worked with Mastercon to pioneer a breakthrough using recycled PET. We've brought multifunctional storage boxes made from Mastercon's recycled plastic bottles to market via Tmall Supermarket's own brand. Mastercon has also been working with Alibaba Cloud and Cainiao to promote green initiatives related to manufacturing and supply chains. Whether it's in terms of products, logistics, or marketing, we have established a deep and comprehensive strategic alliance with Mastercon to promote consumer awareness of low-carbon habits and lifestyles. We are incredibly honored to be recognized alongside Mastercon by the United Nations Global Compact and to become a founding participant of the UNGC's Global Development Initiative for Sustainable Development Goals Acceleration Pilot Project. We are committed to taking practical and actionable steps to advance the Global Development Initiative. The Year of Rabbit has just begun. In Chinese culture, the rabbit symbolizes longevity, peace, and prosperity. I hope 2023 is a year of hope for everyone and a year when we can build a better and more carbon neutral present and future. Happy Chinese New Year to you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dong, for sharing the power of digital technology and platforms such as Alibaba to advance circular economy and minimize waste. So how does consumer goods, especially food and beverage sector companies, are doing to reduce, recycle, and reuse plastics? So let's hear the view from Mr. Chen Yingrang, CEO of Tingyi Holding Corporation, a UN Global Compact member company.
尊敬的桑达奥加伯总干事、拉切扎拉斯托耶娃主席、陆文明副总干事、常企的大使、各位政府与企业代表、女士们、先生们，大家好。作为2021年加入联合国全球契约组织的企业成员，康师傅很荣幸与大家一起来探讨企业伙伴如何为保护我们的地球、海洋，实现可持续发展，做出更多的贡献。感谢联合国全球契约组织为我们提供这个宝贵机会。当今世界正在处于深刻变革的时期，我们很高兴地看到，中国拥有完善而具有韧性的经济体系、强大的发展动能和巨大的市场潜力，正在全球可持续发展中发挥着重要的作用。中国企业正在不断的探索和努力，在绿色发展中创造新的商业模式。康师傅主要在中国大陆从事方便面及饮品的生产和销售。我们与4000多万农民、数百万上下游供应商、经销商、零售商一起，构成了完整的产业链。产品每年触达9亿的消费者。根据凯度消费者指数全球品牌足迹报告，康师傅已经连续10年位居中国消费者购买选择前3品牌。我们一直在思考，像康师傅这样的企业，究竟能为一个更好、更可持续的世界做些什么？也一直不断进行着可持续发展的实践。首先，要全面推动自身生产经营节能减排。在这一过程中，技术创新具有重要意义。近年来，我们实施了一系列技术革新的项目，使温室气体排放、综合能源消耗、用水等环保指标年年显著下降。例如，康师傅自主研发的方便面蒸箱余热回收装置，每年可减少二氧化碳排放17.3万吨。我们将数百万的冰箱升级为自主研发的 AIoT 智能型节约冰箱，比传统 冰箱减少30到40百分比的能耗，成为行业绿色节能的标杆。其次，带动上下游伙伴共同打造绿色价值链。我们根据由联合国全球契约组织发布的企业碳中和路径图，在食品饮料企业中率先开展了涵盖产业链上下游的碳排查专案，确立了减碳的科学路径，使更多上下游伙伴加入到绿色发展中来。第三，将绿色低碳消费理念传递给广大的消费者。我们应该发挥自身的影响力，通过产品和服务创造绿色消费新时尚。康师傅开发了中国首款碳中和茶饮，通过对包装材料、产品配方、生产工艺等的优化，减少了碳排放，并经过上游农户合作的生态茶园的碳汇量，来抵消产品全生命周期的碳排量，令产品本身成为消费者绿色生活的一部分，并推动了相关标准的制定与案例的分享。第四，推动跨界合作，营造绿色生态。在中国上海，我们与迪士尼合作，在园区放置了 PET 空瓶回收机，让孩子们从小树立绿色环保的意识。我们响应联合国全球契约组织的倡议，与其他13家企业和国际组织共同发起了一项基于创新合作伙伴关系的全球试点项目，旨在缓解海洋塑料污染，加速碳中和进程。通过联合国全球契约组织的平台，我们能够与更多的跨界伙伴合作，发挥更大的减塑降碳想象空间。例如，我们正在共同探索将回收 PET 等使用后的塑料制品再造为多种生活消费品，又通过电商平台的销售推广，实现循环利用，着眼全价值链的角度，创造可持续、全新的商业价值。距离2030联合国可持续发展目标的达成期限已经越来越近了。中国人常说“人心齐，泰山移”，大家携手前行，一定能够实现可持续的美好未来。今天还是中国农历新年期间，在此我谨代表康师傅，祝大家新年快乐，家园常青，健康是福。Happy Chinese New Year!
Thanks, Mr. Chen. The next speaker's business and core product is really focusing on recycling. Let's welcome Ms. To Anderson, President and Chief Executive Officer of TOMRA, to share her experiences.
Hi, my name is To Andersen, and I'm the CEO of TOMRA. TOMRA is the leading provider of technology solutions to enable the circular economy. In TOMRA, our vision is to lead the resource revolution, to create a world where every resource counts and where there are no waste. And by that, there will be no pollution to our nature, to the oceans. That might sound like wishful thinking, that might sound like a dream. But that vision is what drives all our employees, close to 5,000 people, every day to work hard to enable a circular economy. And there are some reasons for optimism. I have never seen so much activities and commitments to reduce the climate emissions. We see increased investments into renewable energy. We see many industries looking at how can they reduce their CO2 footprint and coming with pledges to be not only net zero by 2050, but with clear commitments on targets of CO2 reduction for 2025 and 2030. We see that from brand owners, we see it from large corporations, And for most of them, their roadmap will include resource optimization. It will include creating circular value chains. Also, what we do see is increased environmental legislation being put in place to accelerate the change. However, this is still not enough. This transformation is still not happening fast enough. And we need all stakeholders now to act with a sense of urgency. So what do we need from the key stakeholders? We need the consumers to use their power, to demand changes for our planet, and to be willing to make sustainable choices. And we need the brand owners to put concrete actions behind the pledges that they have made. In TOMRA, we believe in the resource hierarchy. What does that mean? It means that the first priority should always be to reduce the materials that we are using. Second priority is to look at reuse, and what cannot be reduced or reused should be recycled. The brand owners need to apply that thinking. For example, how can they reduce the amount of packaging that they're putting out into the market? And how can they create innovative solutions for reuse? And making sure that what they are designing is really designed in a way that it can be recycled. And we need governments that dare to make good environmental legislation and ambitious environmental legislation. We need governments who dare to put the responsibility on the producers for the whole life cycle of the products that they are putting into the market. And governments who create incentives to ensure that sustainable behaviors pays off and remove obstacles to enable the circular economy. For example, making sure that the legislation on packaging requirements is developing in line with new recycling technologies. But nothing will happen unless we collaborate. There needs to be collaboration across the value chain to develop the new processes and technologies required. There needs to be collaboration to create actually these new value chains, the circular ones, and to invest in the required infrastructure. And we need collaboration across borders, like the United Nations initiative to create a legally binding framework for combating plastic pollution. Plastic pollution is a global problem, and it needs a global collaboration to solve it. In TOMRA, we welcome these advancements, and we welcome the opportunity to play our role in enabling the transformation into a circular economy. We have built experience over the 50 years that we have operated within this space, and we have summarized it in a short paper, 10 requirements to curb plastic pollution, which we have shared with UNEP and many stakeholders. There is so much that can be achieved by just rolling out existing technology. We know that you can reduce litter significantly of plastic bottles and aluminum cans if you introduce a good deposit scheme. We know that if you just rolled out the existing best practices within waste management and roll that out globally, we could reduce the CO2 emissions with almost 3 billion tons CO2 annually. We really need to roll out these existing solutions with speed while we invent the new solutions for the material streams where we still don't have a good circular model. The time for action is now. Let's create a world without waste together.
Thanks, Ms. Anderson. I noticed that TOMRA joined the UN Global Compact since 2009, that's a while ago. So we thank you and for TOMRA's long-standing support to the UN Global Compact. As Professor Lu Wenming emphasized the important role of bamboo as an environmental-friendly alternative to plastics earlier in his speech, now Let's hear from Ms. Doris Wang, General Manager of Ningbo Shilin Arts and Crafts Corporation, to share her experiences.
Hi everyone, I'm Doris Wang from Ningbo Shilin Arts and Crafts Company. Thanks to the invitation from Ingbar and ECOSOC, so it's a great honor to give a presentation today with the topic Future of Bamboo as an Industry Insider. This is me, I'm Wang Xinyi, you can call me Doris, and I'm the General Manager of Shilin Company. Thanks to Ingbar again that I attend so much UN conference and speak up for our Chinese bamboo industry and let the world know much about bamboo's magic plant. About us, use one sentence to define us is that we are an enterprise specializing bamboo industry for 30 years. We totally have 5 production bases, included with 3 brands, Bamking, Shilin, and Qingfeng Hange. Except these 3 brands, we also have a drawing workshop, which especially become the IKEA production basis, and we are the first Chinese supplier of bamboo products for IKEA, and also a eco factory in Wenzhou, which is the first bamboo eco factory in China also, and I will introduce this part later on. We also work with designer brands like Qingting and PIY. Why we choose bamboo? There have billions tons of plastic waste end up into the ocean, and this pollution become crisis. Therefore, we need to stop plastic pollution as soon as possible. So, what other options are open to us? Actually, we have many alternatives like metal, paper, ceramics, and so on. Today, I'm gonna introduce a green material, which is bamboo. Based on each country is working on deplasticization and to achieve carbon neutrality. China also give effort on it. China jointly launched the bamboo as a substitute for plastic initiative with Ingbar to effectively treat plastic pollution and leave a healthy green planet for future generations. So we think bamboo is a good choice because it is a plant symbolized Oriental culture with environmental protection feature, and bamboo have short growth cycle. It only takes 5 years to be mature, and it also have good performance with a bright future. Furthermore, I think bamboo is also contributes on poverty alleviation. So how bamboo as a substitute? This is Ingbar's pavilion at the 2022 CIFTIS, which perfectly show different type of bamboo products. So next, let we have a quick glance of what bamboo can substitute plastic products. This is kitchenware like bowls, cutting boards, tray, container lid, houseware like weighing scale, tissue box, trash can, and the toothbrush, straw, pen, vacuum cup, calculator, mouse, bamboo disposal plates, packaging, bamboo fiber, bicycle, big pieces like furniture, and also used in construction material. This is Madrid Airport. I guess a lot of you been there, and also Chengdu Airport. It is also used in architecture, and I think this building are so beautiful. As we use more bamboo products, we are helping the earth to sequester carbon and achieve carbon neutrality. The data shows that if 600 million tons of bamboo are used annually in the world to replace PVC products, it is estimated that 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions will be reduced. So let we look about the further development of bamboo. First, I will show you a fact that I guess most of the bamboo company will face in China or maybe globally. Take us as an example, the actual utilization of bamboo in the panel processing is only 30%, which means that remaining waste is high up to 70%. So how to maximize the utilization? Our solution is to build eco-factory in the idea of full use of bamboo to achieve net zero emissions. And this is another video to show our eco-factory. As the video showed, we can see that use the remaining waste to produce the bamboo charcoal, and bamboo charcoal is the key production for our recyclable factory. And in the process of making the charcoal, it will generate plenty of heat energy, and this heat energy can supply back to the factory and also can generate electricity. So we get energy freely by making remaining waste into charcoal. So this is the eco factory we have. To sum up, we think bamboo is a nature-based solution for everyone globally. We find that bamboo as a substitute can replace a lot of plastic we use in daily life, and bamboo products can sequester carbon to help achieve carbon neutrality and also mitigate climate change. As we plan to set more and more eco-factories, we are one step closer to achieve net zero emissions. Moreover, and as I mentioned before, that developing bamboo industry is also helping poverty alleviation. Therefore, we think develop bamboo industry is good SDGs-driven business solution for everyone. So we think you have a better choice, which is bamboo. And this brings to the end of my presentation, and thank everyone for your listening.
Well, we hear many business leaders spoke today on their commitments and actions on addressing global plastic crisis. Let's now hear the perspectives from a very important stakeholder, the media, to share how we can leverage the powerful communications and all types of media channels to raise public awareness and inspire more stakeholders to take action. The floor is given now to Mr. Chen Sijie, CEO of Yicai Media Group, one of the co-organizers of this side event today.
Dear Assistant Secretary General and CEO of UN Global Compact, Sandra Ojambo, Your Excellency Rachazastova, Professor Wenming Lu, Mr. Sidras Chatji, dear representatives from governments and companies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I'm truly delighted to receive the invitation by the UN Global Compact and feel honored to deliver a speech representing Yicai Media Group, which is one of the co-hosts of the side events of 2023 UN ECOSOC. Yicai Media Group is the business content arm of Shanghai Media Group. As a leading source of original financial contents in China, Yicai is committed to becoming the country's most credible and globally influential digital media conglomerate and information service group. Through our multiple media platforms, including TV, radio, newspaper, magazine, and digital media matrix, Yicai generates and publishes over 2,000 financial news, videos, data reports, and in-depth analysis per day, constantly reports trading and industry information in China and the global market, and live broadcasting major financial and business forums and conferences around the world. Yicai Media Group has been actively exploring and practicing the promotion of sustainable development since 2008, when we pioneered to launch CSR ranking and researching projects among Chinese companies and hold annual CSR forum. We have encouraged the market to focus on the value of sustainable development, build a global sustainable business communication and cooperation platform, provided a precise empowerment for the domestic companies to strengthen their operational advantage, recognize important social issues related to the enterprise development, and effectively coped with the challenge of the shifting the economy from a high-speed growth stage to a high-quality development stage. We believe that now, more than in any other era, business development not only calls for constantly specialization, but also requires involved entities to face up to the overall reforms in the economy, society, environment, science and technology, and other sectors. I stressed the concept of collective impact during my speech at Yichai Media Group's annual forum last month. In the face of complex challenges regarding sustainable development, achievements are not made by a sole certain policy, investments, or project, but through their effectively joint synergy, which means resolutions should be sought via the integration of social resources based on cross-border collaborations. I think the hot topic of marine plastic pollution, which has reached the level of a global crisis, is a typical example of collective impact. In the face of a huge and a complex social topic, it is necessary to get more parties involved. The goals of each entity can be unified. I really do appreciate UNGC's construction of strong frameworks on public and private governance, and the partnership through connecting the innovation, investment, and the collective actions of private companies. When such scheme officially kicked off at the China International Import-Expo last year, we devoted huge attention and support, and also anticipate making more contributions to cross-sectoral solutions to the crisis of marine plastic pollution. We hope that this innovative measure can improve the ocean's ecological system. We really welcome the above-mentioned parties to join hands with Yichai so as to cope with systemic issues together through bold cross-border collaborations and profound reforms, and spur the harmonious coexistence between man and nature. So far, Yichai's sustainability channel has preliminarily established a new model that integrates contents and services. Last year, Yichai initiated a project called the China Green Point, a review and a selection of sustainable practices and cases, which witness efforts made by outstanding Chinese business entities to promote green consumption and eco-friendly lifestyle. Moreover, we organize a series of high-standard forums and conferences to focus on dealing with the new pattern where the zero-carbon goal quickly goes from the top-level design to the market, together with the global companies. On top of that, we also launched a chart for companies' carbon neutrality performance to discover the real situation of the business in the fields of R&D and the application of environmental technology. Last but not least, as an advocate, connector, and facilitator of the sustainable development, Yichai Media Group is committed to leading more media outlets and enterprises to show the social responsibilities and integrate social affairs into their core business strategy. We strongly believe that with the joint efforts in pursuing moral integrity in high-quality business development will truly promote human beings to embark on the journey of sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Indeed, many opportunities are out there for all the stakeholders to come together and collaborate. Through integrating the 10 principles of a global compact in full value chain, we can take joint efforts to respond to the call from the United Nations and member states to combat ocean plastics that will contribute both to the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Last but not the least, I would like to invite the United Nations Resident Coordinator to China, Mr. Siddharth Chatterjee, to summarize and close today's session. Before that, allow me to thank UNDESA and ECOSOC for providing a great platform and opportunity for all of us to convene, connect, and categorize today for innovative partnerships to achieve our only one goal, that's the SDGs. Together, we can, just as the theme of the ECOSOC Partnership Forum have this year to accelerate the recovery from the coronavirus disease by implementing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development at all levels, together, today, and every day. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I'm pleased to address you today to close the side event of the 2023 United Nations Economic and Social Council ECOSOC Partnership Forum, organized by the United Nations Global Compact China Liaison Office, the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization, and the Yuchai Media Group. The 2023 ECOSOC Partnership Forum is convened under the theme Accelerating Recovery from the COVID-19 and the full implementation of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda at all levels. The COVID-19 pandemic and its impact have threatened progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, including the urgent action needed to combat climate change, highlighting the urgency of recommitting ourselves to achieve the goals by 2030. As we enter the third year of this decade of action, we must work towards a transformative recovery from COVID-19 and pursue a collective effort to reinvigorate efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And that is what brings us together here today to showcase and discuss how innovative partnerships can mobilize commitments and actions to advance the 2030 agenda. Amongst these key development issues, we understand that the ocean is vital to the well-being and prosperity of humanity. During the One Ocean Summit in 2022, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, said, and I quote, "Plastic waste is choking the seas. We need more and more effective partnerships to address land-based sources of marine pollution. It is time to end single-use plastics." End of quote. Indeed, if we continue on our current trajectory, plastic pollution in oceans will continue to increase dramatically and is projected to be more than double by 2030. Urgent action is needed to protect our ocean from the twin crisis of plastic pollution and climate change. And today, under the theme, Accelerating Net Zero Transition through Innovative Partnerships, SDG-driven business solutions across sectors to combat ocean plastic crisis, we heard about a wide range of bold actions and innovative partnerships developed under the United Nations across governments and civil society and private sector to combat the ocean plastic crisis, address climate change, and contribute to a net zero transition. We have learned about impressive cross-sector partnerships for sustainable and innovative business solutions to reduce the reliance on petroleum-based products and control maritime plastic pollution. I want to congratulate all the speakers and participants here at this side event today for the efforts and achievements you shared. Another major achievement highlighted was a pilot project launched by the United Nations Global Compact China Liaison Office to combat the ocean plastic crisis and accelerate a net zero transition. This pilot brings together 13 leading global companies from various sectors, including consumer goods, manufacturing, recycling solutions, e-commerce, transportation, and biotech, and one major institutional partner, the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization. The project focuses on providing a platform to continuously incubate innovative solutions to combat the ocean plastic crisis and accelerate the 2030 agenda through a full value chain perspective and cross-sector mutual partnerships. Despite the progress made, large-scale efforts are needed to unlock the full potential of partnerships and usher in more ambitious action to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals. With only 7 years remaining, time is running out for us to place ourselves on track to achieve the SDGs. Businesses play a key role in advancing the SDGs, but we must do more. Along with governments, the United Nations, and civil society, companies can leverage public-private cross-sector partnerships to take necessary action to secure a healthy ocean and expedite our transition to a net zero future. I want to take this opportunity to call on more companies to join the UN Global Compact to work with the United Nations towards building a sustainable and equitable future. Together, we can spur greater innovation, investment, and collective action through effective partnerships while embracing the significant opportunities offered by a healthy ocean. I wish the 2023 ECOSOC Partnership Forum every success. Thank you very much.